Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Tortoise, the Tier 9 British tank destroyer. It's located on the north spawn of Cliff, and this one is under the command of marke12, and he's still trying to work his way up to his third mark of excellence. Game on. Well, otherwise known as the A39, it was one of a series of tank destroyers that the British were trying to build starting in 1943 so that they could attack the Siegfried Line when they knew that they were going to be returning to Europe. The only problem was each of the designs that they put forward, and there was 18 of them in total, were rejected until they finally got around to the Tortoise design, the A39, and that one was accepted, but it was just built too late to actually have any involvement in the conflict. Now, originally the Tortoise was armed with a quick-firing 32-pounder gun, and there's one copy of that tank at the Tank Museum at Bovington. Of course, the one in the game is given the L7A1, the 105mm gun, which you can see here is capable, well, it's a 120mm, sorry, it's the American gun, that one, capable of 400 alpha, 259mm pen. With the premium rounds it goes through 326, and it's relatively fast firing as well. The standard reload is 6.31 seconds, but this one manages to get it in 5.01 seconds. And you can see Marky's gone to the right spot straight away, because the best place for this tank destroyer to be is confronting the enemy face to face. And he's actually down at the Western Pass, which is obviously where he's most likely to meet an enemy heavy or an enemy tank destroyer. Now, there's no Tortoise on the enemy team, but they do have two Object 2684s. This is a tier 10 game with tier 8 tanks in it, so it's more than likely he is going to meet one of them. In fact, actually we can see one of them just a short way away. Okay, his first enemy tank comes into sight, and he's using the bush mechanic. I think he could have got that shot in without, even if he had been seen, I don't think he would have taken much in the way of damage. Unfortunately, our teammate in the CS53 also took a lot of damage in that one, and he's now out the game. The version 4 made a big mistake though, because he actually came too far forward and turned sideways on, and now he's been tracked. I think he burned his repair kit to move, so he's now disabled. And so long as Marky keeps this guy disabled and tracked, then he's going to take damage, and Marky will pick up the extra points as damage assist. Now, he's got the fire rate to actually punch holes through the lower plate of this guy. He needs to use the premium ammo to do it though. Oh no, he didn't need to. He did actually get the last shot in. Much obliged. So that was the Jaeger who actually did the most damage in that game. He punched a hole straight through the lower plate. So that's one of the dangers on the enemy team down. The Object 268 version 4, or Bobject, is one of the most deadly tank destroyers in the game, mainly because of its virtually impenetrable armour at the front of the vehicle. But when an impenetrable armour comes up against an object that can always pen you with a huge gun, like the Jaeger, then obviously the Jaeger is going to come off better, because he can just whack those shells straight through the armour. Well, he's decided to change position, but I think he's probably going to take a shot from that 268 version 4, and the worry is as he's crossing this gap, then the other 2684 might make himself known and try to punch one through. There's a Panther 2. He can get a shot on that guy, and he does. 428, which is a high roll. Go for it again. No, that one missed. It looks like it went right over the top of the turret. Now, rather than doing what he's doing at the moment, which is turning side on to the enemies, he's making his way up here, which makes him a little more vulnerable. He's saying it's safe to the Emil. I'm not so sure it is that safe, but the Emil is following him. The Jaeger has gone in the opposite direction. He's gone to the east to try and support the guys who are stopping the enemy from coming around the hill. That Emil will probably need to hold the line behind him to hold the western pass. I was a bit more concerned that there's a possibility that the enemy tanks might try to punch him when he comes into the pass, but they didn't, and he's now taken out the standard B and pumped one straight through the side of the E75. The E75 will respond, there's no doubt about that. He can't afford not to, and in fact now I suspect that he's probably about to die. Yeah, the fast fire rate of the Tortoise really took care of him. But now we've got a bit different problem. That's the 279E. Oh, and he's gone. He got the assistance there of a M454. And now we've got the SU-130PM hiding back at the enemy cap here. That shell went through the tracks. And, whoa, this is quite a new development. He's actually going to go to the enemy cap area and try and engage the T-54, but he's just found this Emil to his right, and the problem here is that, yeah, he's now receiving fire from the SU-130PM and the Emil, and that T-54 might get involved. Actually, the T-54 has been killed, so he doesn't need to worry about that guy, but he's now trying to deal with the SU-130PM and the Emil at the same time, and that doesn't work very well, because there's a convoy over there on top of that. So get behind this rock, stay here for the moment, get shots on the Emil and the convoy, let the T-54 and our team take care of the SU-130PM. He gets around into the convoy for a high roll. Oh, took another round from the Emil. He's starting to fire AP at us. There you go, he's got the Emil now. Now he's okay. There's only two enemies left. The SU-130PM, who's firing into him from behind. And now that the convoy's gone, it's all over. So the first battle is a victory. Here's the end of battle stats from the first game, and it was an ace tanker game for marke12 and the Tortoise. He managed to get a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He ended up with 5, one short of getting a top gun and also 1/3 of the enemy team. Got a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle, and a shell proof for blocking more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle. A steel wall for blocking the most damage in the game, and a high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he managed to get 5,279 hit points. The next high scorer being the Jaeger, who got 4,287. And the third highest was the T-54, who got 2,902. He was playing very aggressively. When it came to kills, it was also marke. He managed to get 5 kills. 3 kills went to the T-54, 2 kills to the AMX M454, and also to the Prototypo Standard B on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, marke's way out there in front with 1,567, mainly because he did play fairly aggressively. 1,072 went to the T-54, 948 went to the Object 7032. Yes, he was lucky actually. The guys on the enemy team, the Conway and the Emil 2 and that Panther 2 and the SU-130PM were not really interested in attacking anyone in the Western Pass. So he managed to get across that gap without getting shot at, which was surprising. I thought that he would definitely get hit by one of those tanks and badly damaged, but no, he managed to get across, and so did the Emil, and that allowed marke to take advantage of the situation when he went down the other side of the cliff. Not something I expected him to do, but once the Object 279E was dead, I suppose it was the logical step to take. Let's have a look at detail. 24 shots fired, 20 direct hits, 15 penetrations, damage of 5,279 hit points, of which 706 were at more than 300 meters. He received 11 hits from the enemy in that game, so he only just qualified for the steel wall. 3 penetrations, 8 non-penetrations, and 3,520 hit points of damage blocked by armor. So he was lucky really that he didn't take so much damage from the Emil and the SU-130PM after he went down that side of the cliff. It was only when he suddenly realized he was actually in a position where he was going to get hit from the side and from the front at the same time. That's when it comes really difficult for a Tortoise, because the gun only faces one way, and the best thing to do is seek cover from behind any object that will actually protect you from one threat whilst you deal with the other one. 3 enemy vehicles spotted, 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 5 killed, 1,546 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 51,856 credits on a free-to-play account, and after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, he actually made a loss of 21,123 credits. Yes, he did fire some premium ammo. He needed to get the pens on the enemy, and consequently, yes, he did cost him a little bit, but he did get the damage, and that's helping him to get towards his third mark. 1,567 base XP, no multipliers, that's all the experience points he took away. It was a rather short game really, considering it's a tier 10 game. I think the enemy team really wasn't up to it. They just didn't know where to take advantage, and as a consequence, it was good for Marky because he was able to scoot across that western pass without any damage. Okay, so that's the first battle. Let's have a look at the second one and see how he gets on in that one. Okay, here's the second battle, and this time round he's on the southwest spawn of Karelia. Game on. Well, you do have a variety of choices of which way to go in the Tortoise. He could go down to the South Pass, which is the conventional way that all assault tanks would actually go, or he can actually head up to the northwest corner of the map. Not sure where he's going at the moment, because it appears he's headed back towards his own cap area and intending to defend it either from the back or to head towards the western pass, or the eastern pass rather, the southern pass. It's a very odd position to go. Yeah, don't normally see people go in this direction. Not if you're an assault tank or heavy tank. As he's not going to get much damage on the enemy from here until they actually come round that pass. If you've ever been to the Tank Museum Bovington, it's more than likely you've seen the Tortoise. It's the most amazing tank there. It's so big, with the tracks being so wide, really, really wide. Of course, wide tracks means it can distribute the weight easier, which makes it a little faster, I suppose, but its maximum speed's only 20 kilometers an hour, 10 in reverse. It is 81 tons in weight. Surprising considering it's so big and so heavy. You'd think that it would actually be a lot heavier. No, he's not going to get much damage from that direction. I suppose what he's doing at the moment is trying to make up his mind which way the enemy is going to break through. Are they going to break through from the northwest, or are they going to break through from the south? It looks at the moment like the northwest is the one they're going to come through. They've got a Super Conqueror up there, an Emil 2 and a Centurion 7-1. Mind you, we do have a Ferdinand near the marsh. and a Striv S1 just in case anybody turns up out of the marsh. They'll get snipe at them. You see, I would have expected for Marky to go down to the south end and try and snipe at the enemy from a distance. At the moment our team is losing hit points, not doing so well. Yeah, we're 6,000 hit points down on the enemy, so they are making an impression, and it does look like they are going to break through from the north, and he's seen that now, so he's decided that that's the way that he's got to defend. And this is where the armour at the front of the vehicle will be really helpful. As I mentioned in previous videos, the weak spot on this tank is actually that cupola there. That's the weak spot. That's the loader's cupola with the machine guns on it. That's fairly weak armour. The only other place that you can actually penetrate this vehicle reliably is from the south, or from the rear rather, or from the sides if you can get a big enough penetration. But from the front it's fairly difficult to pen. Okay, gets one into the super conch, but he's starting to take fire from the enemy. Ouch. He's getting hit on some of his critical components. They've only got one through the armour so far, and that was the GSR 1008, which is a 105mm gun. They've got guys up on, they've got a Bobject up on the horseshoe, and we have been spotted, which means that the guys over on the horseshoe can shoot in our direction, but instead we're going to try and get a shot there. Oh, that was a good shot there on the Centurion 7-1 on the move. Bit of a snapshot, but it worked. And he's now using the rock for cover while he aims at the Scorpion G. The only problem is that the Centurion, Super Conqueror rather, managed to get into the dip, and he's now firing at us and pumping rounds into us with the 120mm. And we've also now got a 53 TP coming down from the horseshoe. That one went right over the top of him. That was unfortunate. That's better. Low roll though. He needs to get some more rounds on that guy to inhibit him. He's gone. With 3 tanks down on the enemy. The enemy are now starting to push on the south end, and now we've got the Super Conch. He needs to isolate this guy, punch through his drive wheel. That's better. He's tracked now. Now just take him out. One more. That's it. He took another round from the Super Conqueror, but he's still got half his hit points. And another round into the GSOR, which has got very light armour, so he can make a big impression. Pumps one into the 140. This is a more difficult proposition, the 140. He's got a good fire rate and a decent gun. Pumps another one in, but he's now starting to lose hit points. He could actually go out this game if the... Oh, the 140 hit him again with a heat round, and now he's in trouble. Very difficult to get a shot. He does punch one through, but he was tracked by the Scorpion. Needs to get that kill shot. Yes, gets it. So that's his second kill of the game, but he's done enough to get 20% of the enemy hit pool, so he might have a high caliber, and it's all about damage. Puts one into the Striv S1. One more shot to kill. Yep, he gets him. Oh! The Charfu Chewer 4 hit him, and he hit him from the south pass. And there's only one left on the team now. It's the Striv S1, and he's about to die. The Bobject's about to... Oh, he's just riding him now. He's jumped on top of him. And that's the end of the game. Kind of sad, that one. Well, it might have been a loss, but it was a victory for marke12 in one way, because he did manage to get his 3rd mark of excellence from that game, as well as a first-class tanker. He got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He managed to get 6. A duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him. A 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle. And on top of that, he did pick up the high caliber for getting at least 20% of the enemy hit pool and the highest damage in the game overall. And this battle took place not more than 5 hours after the last one, where he did well on Cliff. If we look at the team score, we can see his highest damage was 6,107, so he is very consistent. The second highest damage was the enemy Strib 103B with 5,188, and the third highest damage in the game was the Object 268 version 4, 4,439 went to him. When it went to kills though, it was the 268 version 4 who had 5 kills, marke12 had 3 alongside the Charfew 204 who got him in the end, and the Scorpion. And when it came to base XP, it's the enemy team who comes out on top here. The Bobjet got 1,140, 978 went to the Emil 2, and the Scorpion managed to get 962, with Marke picking up 803, so he wasn't that far behind. He was actually in 5th place on experience. Marke fired 21 rounds in that game, 17 direct hits on the enemy and 17 penetrations. Damage of 6,107 hit points, of which 2,358 were at more than 300 meters. 18 hits received from the enemy, 7 of those were penetrations, 11 non-penetrations, and 2,900 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 6 enemy vehicles were damaged, 3 were killed, and 442 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 47,723 credits from the game and got the Achievements Award because, of course, he got an Epic Medal, or actually it was a Battle Hero Medal, the high caliber. 3,831 hit points for that one. And hit points? No, it's credits. 51,584 credits altogether, but after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, and yes, he was firing some premium ammo. And of course, well, was it some premium? I think he was mostly firing standard ammo in that game, but he did have consumables as well, and so he made a small loss, 14,046 credits overall for the game, but I think that's fair exchange because after all, he did get his 3rd mark of excellence. 803 base XP, 447 for the Achievements Award, 1,250 experience points altogether. That's a very good game it was, and he was fighting it out right till the end. I think his downfall in the end was that Object 140. That guy kept punching those holes into him, and there's sizable amounts of damage each time you get the shots in. He got the better of the Super Conqueror, but unfortunately that 140 just kept on poking around and plumping another one into him, and in the end it whittled away his hit points until somebody else was able to get a clean kill shot on him and finish the game. So nice start, nicely played for Marke, other than the fact, of course, he got a loss, but he did get his 3rd mark. He's very consistent with the damage. Yes, he needs to be more lucky, as Napoleon said about his generals. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And please do let other people know that we've got a second channel called The General, where you can watch great replays without any commentary whatsoever. Thanks for watching.